to another episode of BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms out there. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media. Instagram, Threads, Brandon Janeau, Facebook, The Brandon Janeau Show, and of course TikTok, Brandon Janeau Show. Go, uh, you know, follow me on all those social media platforms. Uh, yeah. This is gonna be pretty goddamn interesting tonight. I tell you that now. But really, where you go is the YouTube channel, man. Brandon Janeau Show YouTube channel. Um, yes, Brandon Janeau Show YouTube channel, man. Subscribe, comment. I do comment back, man. Helping the algorithms if you actually like the vids. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, let's get into it, man. This is not Tuesday, but it is Monday, and it is I Bleed Sports. A lot of things going on in sports, man. A lot of things. New champions have been crowned in hockey and basketball. Talk about that. We finally got the face down, the stare down between Canelo and Bud Crawford too. I talk about how I feel about that fight after seeing those two stare downs. And of course, I will continue my NFL East predictions. The last team of the NFC East is clearly the Philadelphia Eagles. So, talk about how I feel about the Eagles moving forward, going into the playoffs, well, this season, I should say. What do I think the Eagles will finish? Do I think they can repeat? We shall see. But let's start it off with this. I've been eager to talk about this since the shit started, since last week. LeBron James. LeBron James, and I'm still debating on when I'm going to do this show. I'm going to do it. Jordan versus LeBron versus Jordan to Kobe to LeBron. I'm going to do this show. I just don't know when. I got to sit down. I got to get the stats right. I got to talk about them in different ways and different, so I got to. This is one of those I got to actually do my research on. I'm not going to just get on here and just start talking shit. But at the same time, LeBron James did a podcast episode last week. A clip came out of LeBron James on the podcast episode talk about rain culture shouldn't define the greats. It's one of the things, but it shouldn't be the only thing that defines a great. It's how many rings you have won in your career. If you, he was trying to say, if somebody didn't win a ring, are they still not a great? Like, and he was sitting across the table from Steve Nash, and he was like, Steve Nash is a great, right? Like he's a great. He's won two MVPs, two league MVPs. Do we not look at Steve Nash like we look at Isaiah Thomas, or do we not look at paraphrasing what the fuck he really said, but and he's trying to sit there and say technically, you know, range shouldn't be the only measuring stick of why someone is a great. Do I agree? Yes and no. And this is a hard conversation to have sometimes, right? Because my thing with LeBron James saying this shit is one, who you talking to? You're talking to a guy, Steve Nash, who, yes, by all statistical categories and also winning two MVPs last year, Lord have mercy, in his career. Did you ever think Steve Nash was? Now, I am actually a fan of Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash is. I was a fan of Steve Nash when he was with Dallas, and him and Dirk Nowitzki was on the same team. I was a massive fan of Steve Nash then. But it's who you're sitting across the table from. Go talk to a person like Allen Iverson. Go across the table and have a conversation with a Charles Barkley. Talk to a John Stockton. Talk to a Reggie Miller. Talk to the actual people that have actually won, who've been great, and I mean absolutely fucking fantastic players, but just never won a ring. Steve Nash, in the senses of greats is very low on that list of people that I would even sit there and give that conversation to. But I digress. Can you be a great and not have won a ring? Of course you could have. Of course you could have. There's a lot of players that I have watched them out. Reggie Miller. I literally talked about how much I love and respect Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller is one of my favorite basketball players of all time. He doesn't have a ring, but I love Reggie Miller. Allen Iverson is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and he doesn't have a ring. He doesn't have a ring. Carmelo Anthony is considered probably one of the greatest basketball players of all time to a lot of people. He doesn't have a ring. At least Reggie and AI have played for an NBA championship. Carmelo Anthony didn't even get to a fucking finals. There are people in this time period of life that people are going to look back on and say, damn, if they would have just won a ring, what if? Russell Westbrook, James Harden, who else? Russell Westbrook, James Harden, uh, Joel Embiid. There's be a lot of people that you look back on this time period of life and be like, damn, they just won a ring. Shit'll be different. But for LeBron, so the ring conversation, he is 100% right. Shouldn't be the end all, be all to determine a great. You're 100% right. Here's where the problem kicks in. When we're talking about the greatest of all time, the ring conversation kicks in. And it is what it is, man. To be the greatest to ever play the sport, you have had to win a championship, bro. And you have had to win multiple titles, multiple rings, multiple championships. You cannot sit here and then now sit here and say that rings do not matter in the conversation of greatness because that is a fucking lie. Stats and records are great, but when we talk about Tom Brady, now he has all the stats. Now he has all the records. But there was a time when Tom Brady didn't have all the stats and the records. But he had the rings. The man, like, you can't sit here and you can't sit here and say stats and records are the only things we should worry about and talk about. And then neglect the fact that, bro, to be the greatest, you've had to have one when it mattered most. And LeBron has not. Just facts. And now I'm seeing kids trying to equate stats and numbers. See, this is what I'm starting to realize about me as a person. Now I'm starting to understand what my uncles and my pops and my stepdad and people would tell me. Like, I watch this shit. So to these kids, all you got is stats and numbers. So of course it looks a little bit more shakier in the light when all you can equate this shit to is stats and fucking numbers. So yeah, LeBron looks amazing in stats and fucking numbers. But I watched Kobe and I watched LeBron. And I watched when Kobe played LeBron and how much LeBron was kind of like backing the fuck off Kobe. He didn't want those fucking problems. And I watched Kobe play against LeBron and tell that motherfucker, come on, let's go. What's up? I saw this shit. I saw Kobe hit a game winner over Dwayne Wade. I saw this shit. So you trying to tell me stats and numbers are all the thing that matters in this whole conversation? No, the fuck it doesn't, because I saw this shit. You're trying to explain, these are 22, 23-year-old kids trying to explain to me as a fucking 31-year-old man who watched Kobe his whole life and didn't watch LeBron when he actually came into the fucking league. And you're trying to explain to us LeBron's better because of stats and fucking numbers. Fuck out of here, nigga. Is you stupid? The fuck? Are you fucking retarded? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? LeBron is never going to be better than Kobe in my mind. Ever. I saw Kobe. I saw Kobe at 21, 22, carry the fucking Lakers when Shaq got fouled out in the NBA Finals game in Indiana in overtime and had to win the fucking game because he was the only fucking player on the fucking field court at the time that could really just put the ball in the basket. And then they went home and they dominated them and won the fucking first title of the three-peat. I saw the shit. I saw the shit. You can't even give me. You can't even do that. And y'all are trying to have stats and numbers over what the fuck I saw with my own eyes. That's what I'm starting to realize. These kids can't tell me shit about basketball. You can't tell me a motherfucking thing. Fuck your stats and numbers. I don't give a fuck about your stats and numbers. I motherfucking saw them. I saw Kobe play LeBron. I saw Kobe put a chokehold on LeBron in a couple games and put that nigga on the fucking posters. You can't tell me shit. Those stats and numbers don't mean shit to me, bro. I hate to tell you. I don't give a fuck about your stats and numbers. I don't give a one single solitary fuck about your stats and numbers. But when you talk about the greatest of all time conversation, LeBron legacy is only helped out. And if LeBron shut the fuck up, he would probably get more people on his side if he would just shut the fuck up. LeBron has played for damn near 23, 24 years. I'm 31. I have watched this nigga since I was what? What? I'm 31. I watched this nigga come into the league at 2003. I was what, 8 when this nigga came into the no. I was 9 when this nigga came into the league. I remember getting NBA Live 04 and playing with the Cavaliers because LeBron was there. I've watched LeBron's whole entire career. I've heard people make excuses for this dude since day fucking one of why he should be considered the greatest. And now that his career is winding down, you're still trying to find excuses for this nigga to be the greatest. He's never going to pass Michael Jordan. There is a universal thing where LeBron's never going to pass Michael Jordan. To the fans that grew up on him, he's the greatest thing they've ever seen. You can't tell them no. Cool. Michael Jordan will always be better than LeBron. And since you do want to do stats and numbers, LeBron's been playing. Michael Jordan's career ended in 2003. He came back and his career ended in 2003, right? With the Washington Wizards. But let's talk about his prime years with the Bulls, right? The Bulls in what, 13 seasons? Since what, 84 to 98, he took a year and a half off. Came back and still was the most dominant fucking player in the league. The only thing that we can sit there and say about LeBron's greatness is that he has been consistently dominant since the day he entered into the league. Congratulations. Even in the individual stat line of Mike versus LeBron, Mike still comes out ahead. It's not just rings. See, that's the thing that these kids always say. Oh, y'all just talk about stats and numbers. It's all about the rings. It's not just about the fucking rings. See, that's the fucking problem. Mike won 5 MVPs in his career. 5. LeBron got 4. LeBron's played longer than Mike and got 4 fucking league MVPs. Mike got 5. Come on now. Come on now. And don't give me that bullshit that LeBron's in a tougher era and more talented era. Fuck out of here. No. 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 I'm not about to let y'all have that. You're not about to make it. You're not about to make an excuse for that. Mike had Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, young Shaq, at a time where the league was way bigger. Mike won 5 MVPs. Last night, when you saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander win the championship, which I'll talk about in a minute, Mike won a scoring title, an MVP, and a championship 4 times. 4 times. Mike also has a Defensive Player of the Year to his resume. LeBron's closest he's ever got to a Defensive Player of the Year is finishing second. So when you sit there and you say, oh, it's just about rings. No, it's not. Even in an individual stat line, the numbers that LeBron has, he's accumulated because of how long he's been playing. It's not because he's been the most dominant fucking player of all time. It's bullshit. He's been playing for 23 fucking years consecutively. He better have them fucking records. He better have them fucking records. And even in that sense, he still hasn't passed Michael Jordan in 50-point games. Still hasn't passed Michael Jordan in 40-point games. Every time Mike has you understand that LeBron went to 10 NBA finals in his career. He lost 6 of them. Mike went to 6 NBA finals and won all 6. He barely played in the games. Barely. Fuck that. He never played in the game 7 in the NBA finals. LeBron played in 2. He won both. Congratulations. But let's not get shit twisted. Michael Jordan was barely behind in a NBA final series. There's 2 NBA final series Michael Jordan trailed in his entire career. His first one to the Lakers, they came back and won that 4 straight. His last one to the Jazz, they won that in 6. And they lost game 1 and proceeded to win the next 2, 3. And proceeded to win the next 3. Proceeded to win the next 2 games in Chicago. This is back when there was a 2-3-2 formula. So he split in Utah, won 3 and 4, and then lost game 5 but won 6. He never played in a game 7 in the NBA Finals. And this is the guy y'all want to down. Even in the stats line, Michael Jordan still has the most. He has the most points ever scored in a playoff game. 63 points. 63 fucking points. The most points ever scored in a playoff game is Michael Jordan. Still to this day, it's still a fucking record. 63 fucking points in a playoff game. LeBron, the only thing that's ever helped LeBron's legacy is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's legacy is going to get looked at so much more than LeBron's because Kevin Durant has done exactly what LeBron's done. He just hasn't won like LeBron has won. Kevin Durant, by the way, has been traded to the Houston Rockets. Now, this plays into what I also need to talk about. Kevin Durant's been traded to the Houston Rockets. Me personally, I've been on this podcast numerous times. I did it with my brother Juan yesterday too. I would have never traded for fucking Kevin Durant if I was the Houston Rockets. What the fuck is the point? Why? Is he winning you a championship tomorrow? This upcoming season? Probably fucking not. Kevin Durant's great. He's gonna be great. Off of name value himself itself is just like you're only trading for the name value. You're not trading for what the fuck he physically can do on the basketball court no more. Yes, we know he can put up 30 fucking points. That's awesome. What happens in the playoffs when teams key in on just stopping him? And now you have to rely on all these other guys in Houston that probably aren't ready for those types of moments. What then? This is the thing about this situation. Sorry, but this situation, Kevin Durant is now a Houston Rocket. Great. I don't think that makes Houston better. I don't think that is a damn thing for Houston moving forward. You're still in the Western Conference. The Thunder is going to be the defending champions coming off of this season. They just won last night. You still got to contest with the Nuggets, whatever they do with that team during the offseason. You have the Spurs, clearly feels like a better and younger team. The Mavs, at some point, they're gonna figure out what they're gonna do with that team. Clearly, Cooper Flag is gonna get drafted #1 overall Thursday, so that's pretty much done fucking deal. You got Kyrie coming off his injury. You got Klay Thompson coming in. Klay Thompson coming into his very own at some point with that Dallas team, and then, of course you still got Anthony Davis if he stays. Klay, Kyrie, and Klay, Kyrie, and Anthony. If they can stay fucking healthy with Cooper Flag, that's a dangerous fucking team. And you still got Derek Lively. Still got PJ Washington in Dallas. Yeah, good luck with that. I don't see how Kevin Durant fixed this fucking team. I think that was a bad decision. I get that Phoenix had to get him off the team because he just didn't want to be there. I get that. But like I've been saying, if I was any other team, if I was a team in the NBA, I would have not traded for Kevin Durant. I would have went for Devin Booker. I would be cool with trading assets for Devin Booker. I'm cool with trading assets for Devin Booker because he can actually still go. He's still what? He's only in his 20s, mid 20s, maybe late 20s now. He still can fucking go out there and score. But because of how Kevin Durant has moved in his career, LeBron's legacy is not going to get truly looked at like it should get looked at because Kevin Durant has moved like he's moved. Kevin Durant did some foul shit, right, to a lot of people. He left the OKC Thunder to go to Golden State. Perfectly in his realm. He was a free agent. He can go wherever the fuck he wanted to go. Perfectly in his realm. But at the same time, that is and always will be considered a sucker move. Just is what it is. It wasn't like your team wasn't good. It wasn't like you couldn't win a championship. You just didn't like Russell Westbrook. Cool. That doesn't make you don't like Russell. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that don't like a lot of people on that team. You didn't like Russell Westbrook, so you say, fuck it, I gotta get out of here. LeBron's legacy is only helped because of how Kevin Durant has moved in his career. But you could literally sit there and say the same shit about LeBron James as you say about Kevin Durant. People forget how fucking bad the decision looked. Like the fact that this man literally did a whole fucking kind of press conference, pretty much. He did a fucking press conference about leaving the fucking Cleveland Cavaliers. By the way, he was in Cleveland when he did that shit. He was on TV in Cleveland at a Boys and Girls Club of America talking about, I'm taking my talents down to South Beach. Right? And then you had the better team in 2011. They had the better team. Miami had the better D-Wade, Chris Bosh. That Miami team was way better than Dallas. You were up, by the way, 2-1 in that series and proceeded to lose the next 3 fucking games. Because you didn't show up in game 4. You didn't show up in the fourth quarter in 3 consecutive games. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That's some shit you cannot do in the greatest of all time conversation. I never seen Kobe choke the fuck up. And I never seen Michael Jordan do that. You were the reason for why the team lost. And your fanboys can say, no, it was a team. No. You can't give me it was a team effort shit, but then want to give him all the credit for fucking winning a ring. That don't work like that. LeBron's legacy is only held in comparison, and it's not to Michael Jordan. I don't look at LeBron like I look at Mike. I don't look at LeBron like I look at Kobe. Shit, I better look at LeBron like I look at Steph. LeBron is his own detriment to his legacy. If he would just shut the fuck up, he would be okay. Because a lot of people probably would be like, nah, LeBron's pretty good. I'm telling you this shit now. When his career is all said and done, he's the one that's gonna get looked at the most. His legacy, how he became the excuse me, so-called the greatest in the greatest of all time conversation, his legacy is going to get looked at the most. Because people are gonna say that decision really was stupid. I get that you felt like you had no help in Cleveland, but the way you went about that, you could have did that better. Then when you finally got to Miami, you sat on a fucking TV channel in Miami doing a big ass fucking grand party in Miami. Finally saying, "Hey, we're all together," and then you go out there that day after you sign to Miami. You go to Miami, they do this big ass party for y'all, and you on stage talk about something not one, not two, not three, not four, no, not five, not six. Okay, and we let you slide for that, somewhat, somewhat. I won't say we let him slide tremendously, somewhat. Some people let you slide for that, and then you sat there on TV. You sat there with your friends after the watching the Warriors games and everything. You said that right there made me the greatest player of all time. Every time LeBron has said something, he has thought people would just agree. And for the most part, the people that fuck with him have agreed. The problem is, universally, you're never going to be considered the greatest of all time. And that's just what it is, man. There's people that have, you realize there are people that are older than younger. So which means that people have watched Michael Jordan in you, and they can physically say why Michael Jordan is better than you. They can physically tell people why Michael Jordan was better than you. I can tell people why Kobe Bryant to me is better than LeBron. Kobe never had to learn a killer instinct. He already had it. Kobe won 3 titles. Yeah, with Shaq, great. You want to give Shaq the 2000 run? Great. But the 2001, 2002 run, that was Kobe. Kobe was really Shaq's fucking equal at that time. Kobe, matter of fact, had a 40-point game, had a 40-point scoring streak in the 2002 season. And Phil Jackson had to go up to Kobe and be like, hey, man, listen, we need you to end this streak because Shaq is starting to get lost. He doesn't want to, he's not doing what he needs to do for us. And Kobe had to stop the fucking scoring streak. But y'all sit there and say, because Shaq won the NBA Finals MVPs, you give it to Shaq. But Kobe was putting up 30 fucking points in those finals too. Kobe was putting up damn near 30 fucking points in the finals, bro. So, yeah, I get it that you want to use that analogy. But again, a lot of these kids that you're using stats and numbers to try to tell people that watch these fucking dudes who's better is like the funniest shit on the planet. LeBron is never going to be better than Kobe in my mind. Ever. LeBron is not better than Michael Jordan, no matter what you say or what you feel, how many stats and records he breaks and holds in his career. Rings matter, bro. Rings matter, bro. That's why y'all trying to still use this bullshit. LeBron's never going to surpass Michael Jordan. In a universal conversation of greatest, his career, actually, his legacy is going to get looked at more moving forward. People are going to look at how he particularly won those rings, who he won them with, why, how shit went down. You had to leave Cleveland. You had to go team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. When you finally got with them, you lost the first time you got with them. You beat a Thunder team in a shortened season. Don't forget 2012 was a shortened season. You beat the Thunder in a shortened season. Like what, 65 games, I think, that year? So you beat them in a shortened season. So congratulations, you won your first ring in a shortened season. But Tim Duncan won his in a shortened season. You beat the Spurs if it wasn't for Ray Allen hitting that fucking game winning three because you almost choked away game six, nigga. People forget he had like a turnover, like two turnovers. He had like a mystery pointer, and that's how the ball got tipped up. Like, real, your legacy is very interesting. And the way people are gonna rate you, I'm telling you now, when we look back at LeBron's legacy, the only thing that's gonna save LeBron's legacy is Kevin Durant. Because of Kevin Durant, how Kevin Durant has moved in his career, people are going to give LeBron a pass. But LeBron and Kevin Durant have the same fucking career. Speaking of championships, congratulations to the OKC Thunder. Now, I know a lot of people have been calling this ring that they won last night a Mickey Mouse ring. I saw some people on social media being like, man, y'all really didn't listen. This is how I know real fans and people that just started watching this shit because the NBA was on. And that's the only thing you can watch when it comes to sports. OKC was the number one seed last year and this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finished second in MVP voting last year and won it this year. OKC has been the most dominant basketball team this whole season. In the Western Conference, where the Western Conference had what, three? The three seed, which was the Lakers, to damn near what, the 8-9 seed in the Western Conference, 8-9-10 seed in the Western Conference, was all separated by literally 2 games. So you telling me 2 games separated the 3 in the 10? The OKC Thunder won the Western Conference number one seed by 6 games. Not really. I think they won that bitch really more like by 6, 7, 8 games. But people that sit there and say that OKC winning last night was a Mickey Mouse ring, they really didn't deserve it, all that shit. Y'all really have not watched OKC this whole season. Even dating back to last year, y'all really have not watched OKC Thunder, man. And if you also are trying to sit there and say Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt, that's why it's also a bad. Bro, Tyrese Halliburton got injured in Game 5. I'm shocked that he played Game 6. I'm shocked that he even made it to Game 7. Prayers up for Tyrese Halliburton because that was a terrible time to have a fucking injury like that. And I do believe if he was healthy and he actually was playing in that game, I still think OKC wins, but it's way closer than people think. It's that shit probably goes into overtime. And maybe Indiana pulls it out. I don't know. Or maybe OKC pulls away later in the game, way later than what they actually did pull away way sooner. But they would have pulled away way later in that game when Tyrese Halliburton was healthy. But OKC has won. And I get now that people have to criticize it and talk down on it. But OKC was the best team all fucking season. All fucking season. They were the best team in the West. They were the best team in the West. They were the best team in the entire NBA. If you look at the playoff run they had, they dominated pretty much most of the playoff run that they had. I mean, outside of maybe the Denver Nuggets series, which I feel like they kind of just they could have beat that series should have been a sweep, and they fucked up in game one, and they just kept let Denver stay in those games, and they just. But you saw in game 7 when they finally decided just to put the boots to the Denver Nuggets. They put the boots to the Denver Nuggets, and Denver couldn't do shit. But this is the thing about this. When people sit here and say something like that, like, oh, this ring doesn't deserve, oh, okay, see, Mickey Mouse ring and all that shit. Nah, bro. This ain't like I said, Miami in 2012, who played literally in the shortened season against the OKC Thunder. And, beat them in 5. This isn't like Tim Duncan winning his first ring in a 50-game season with the Spurs. OKC has been the most dominant fucking basketball team throughout the entire goddamn year. And for people to now sit here and try to act like, oh man, because you're just now starting to watch them. But the OKC Thunder were the best fucking basketball team the whole damn year. The whole year. They were the best team in the West the whole year. They were the best team in the NBA the whole year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like I said, won the scoring title, the league MVP, and the NBA championship, and the NBA Finals MVP. That shit don't happen. OKC was the best defensive team all year. Again, this goes into what I keep saying. You cannot let social media tell you some shit when they didn't watch the shit their goddamn selves. It's hard to have a conversation with people and you didn't give a fuck about the goddamn You didn't even give a fuck about the sport until the damn playoffs started. Please shut the fuck up. OKC is the best team this season. Now, conversation becomes, of course, obviously, is this a dynasty? Do you think they could become a dynasty? Do you think they could be? Do I think they could become a dynasty? OKC. They got the youth. They clearly got the two best. They got the best player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right now. I'm not gonna sit there and act like Shai Gilgeous is not the best player in the league. He's one of the best players in the league. We could debate who you feel is the best player in the league. We could debate that. Cool. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best players in the league. The man's been one of the best players. His growth has been amazing. But I'm gonna say something. Jalen Williams is going to have the best season next year. That boy might have an MVP caliber year next year. And I think Chet Holmgren is going to finally take the step that we've been waiting to see if he can take. I don't know if OKC is going to win another championship next year. It's going to be way harder. I think the Rockets with KD, we shall see how that really actually does look. But I think the Spurs is a team that we should definitely worry about. The Spurs are a team that you should definitely get fucking worried about. The Mavs next year with the veteranship and also having Cooper Flag there is going to be interesting. You still got, like I said, the Denver Nuggets. They're still there. I mean, Denver's still there. You got the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards. I truly, for the life of me, believe you gotta go get a goddamn. You gotta get another player. You should be calling Milwaukee up and seeing. I don't know how many fucking times I gotta say this on this goddamn podcast. Call fucking Milwaukee and see if you can get Giannis. If I am Minnesota, I'm calling fucking Milwaukee. I am trying to see what I gotta do to get fucking Giannis out of the Kumpo in Minnesota. Pair him up with Anthony Edwards and just sit back and watch what happens. I'm I'm watching this. The Western Conference next year is going to be pretty goddamn intriguing to see. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Western Conference next year is going to be pretty interesting to see. Now, again, Tyrese Halliburton injured himself last night, towards Achilles. They're pretty much saying he might be out for the rest of the. He might not even play next year. Um, that's a massive blow. I think Indiana showed you more than anything that Indiana can handle themselves. They just Tyrese Halliburton was the extra umph. He was the extra umph. He got them where they needed to be. That's a true point guard. When a guy can actually just step in and do what he needs to do to help the team win, no matter what. Do I think Indiana takes a step back? I mean, they finished what as the fourth seed this year in the Eastern Conference. So what's a step back to the Indiana Pacers? I mean, what the sixth, the seventh? It's going to be hard for Indiana to muster up that type of energy again. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, like I said, was the closer. He was the closer of a lot of those games. He basically put himself on the map with those closing shots. I mean, he had the most game-winning clutch shots in the entire postseason this entire year. So it's gonna be damn near hard to find another person like him to get going. But I trust Rick Carlisle. I trust Pascal Siakam. I trust the Indiana Pacers team, the GM, the brass of the Indiana Pacers. I think they're gonna be okay. As crazy as that shit sounds, it's gonna be hard. Don't get it twisted. It's going to be hard. And you now have to take a step back, kind of in the conversation of the Eastern Conference. But you got to also put into perspective. Jason Tatum is going to be out for a while. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out for a while. Dame Lillard is out for a while. They all tore their Achilles in the fucking playoffs. So pretty much every single man is probably not playing next year. So it does now become who gets out the East. And if anyone gets out the East, if there's never been a more time period of getting your shit together, it is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like Cleveland better fucking win the East next year. I am making a goddamn you know declarance right here, right now. I am saying this shit right here, right now. If Cleveland does not win the motherfucking Eastern Conference next motherfucking year, you have Boston hurt. You have the Pacers now. You have the Bucks possibly having to trade Giannis. If you do not win the East next motherfucking year, break the fucking team. That is ridiculous. You have no threat in the Eastern Conference. Maybe Detroit, maybe New York, but New York still got to find a head coach. And then they still have to make moves after they find a head coach. Like, like the Heat does not, Pat Riley does not want to give up young assets to get older players, which I respect that. I understand what he's trying to say. Like, I don't think we need to give up young players to go get a fucking rental like Kevin Durant, who's only going to play here for like 2 years. I totally respect what he's trying to say. But that also officially tells me that you have no idea. You are pretty much punting. You're punting on possibly building a team. To me, Tyler Hero cannot be your number one guy. He's proven this time and time again. He can't be the number one guy. He can't play defense. He can't play defense. And all he really is a scorer. And I don't even think he's really a great scorer like that to begin with. You got Bam Adebayo, who is a 20 and 10 guy, which is great. What the fuck does that mean? I like Wycast. I said that man's name so wrong. But why? I like him. I think he's a great player. What is he really going to be when it's all said and done? Is the conversation. I get you not wanting to part ways with the young talent for Kevin Durant. I totally understand that. But Giannis, you don't want to part ways with young talent for Giannis. That's not a guy that's on his last leg. That's a guy that can play for a good bit. You don't want to part ways with young talent for a Devin Booker. Like, I mean, you could do a Trae Young. Like, there's some players that we can have a conversation about, bro, before you sit there and say not to do it. But yeah, man, I don't understand when people sitting there trying to get mad at the OKC Thunder. Now, to say are they going to turn into a dynasty, that's a hard thing to say because the NBA hasn't had and I said this a couple of weeks ago that I think the Thunder can become the Warriors of the 2020s because your best player is your oldest player, and I say Gilgeous-Alexander. You still have a lot of growth with these young guys. You got Chad Holmgren, you got Jalen Williams, you got some guys on that team that's very young, but can grow into better players moving forward. And say Gilgeous-Alexander is the number one player right now in the league. He just won MVP. He's the scoring champ for 2 consecutive years. He's won the scoring championship for 2 consecutive years. He's the MVP of the NBA Finals. He's the MVP of the NBA. So yeah, I think Gilgeous-Alexander can definitely will the OKC Thunder to a couple of wins in the next couple of years and win some championships. I would not be surprised. I'm looking at the Western Conference, like I said. The Spurs are a team I would definitely get worried about. I don't know if next year is going to be where the Spurs really hit that pivotal point. But if Dylan Harper, who they probably draft second, becomes that guy, it could get interesting. Victor Wembanyama, if he's healthy, it could get interesting. The Spurs and the Thunder could create a new rivalry in the Western Conference, which I am super fucking forward to. But yeah, But congratulations to OKC Thunder, man. Congratulations. Boxing. So Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are making their rounds, doing a promotion for this fight. This is weird. I'm just gonna get this out the way. This shit is weird. They are doing promotion for this fight. They're doing podcast episodes. They doing fucking sit down interviews together. You know, it's just so fucking weird. So fucking weird. This shit is weird. Um, I get it. You got to promote the fight, but that shit is weird. The first face off they had, I think it might have been in Saudi Arabia. Um, Canelo and Terrence, and it's clearly before what is going on in this country. Um, but they had their first face off. Bud didn't look too Bud, I guess. Like he looked like okay, this is what I gotta go through. Okay, cool. The next face off, he pushed Canelo. He was like, yeah, like this is on. Let's get it popping. Let's really do this. Canelo was actually mad, and Bud was like, nah, let's do this shit. I like this. I still don't know who's gonna win, and that's the thing. I don't know who's gonna win. I have no clue who's gonna win. I I don't know who's gonna win. I have no clue who's gonna win. Nobody does. I mean, outside of preference, if you're a Canelo fan, you think Canelo's gonna win. If you're a Canelo fan, you think Canelo's gonna win. If you think that you're a Bud fan, you think Bud's gonna win. If you're just a boxing fan, Bud can fucking beat Canelo, man. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like he can't. He could probably beat Canelo. He can beat him. I think that the one thing that has always hurt Canelo Alvarez is jabs. He's not particularly great at keeping people off of him when he can jab. The one thing also with Canelo is Bud's a stand in place fighter. So it's not gonna be a lot of having to cut off the ring. Bud's gonna stand right in front of you and say, "Let's go, let's go, let's do this." It comes down to who feels whose power first, and I think that once you start to see who feels whose power first, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I don't know who wins. Like I said, we are literally in June, almost July. It is the fight's in September. Who the fuck knows? But I do know this: Bud and Canelo. The second face off was way more impactful for me as a boxing fan because it actually showed that Bud actually gives a fuck. Like Bud's actually like, nah, this is going. And Canelo actually looking like I'm pissed off. Like fuck this shit. Like let's fight now. Let's get it. But this goofy ass shit they doing podcast episodes together and all this other shit. And today Canelo's saying, Crawford really doesn't have really um anything on his resume. Ain't that the fucking pot calling the kettle black? Ain't that a bitch? Like, ain't that a bitch? Canelo, who the fuck do you have on your resume, man? Oh, let me guess. Triple G, American, who, by the way, Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of as well. Who's on your resume? Caleb Plant. Again. Oh, Miguel Cotto. Let me guess. Miguel Cotto. That's what we gonna say. Who's a bit older? Who was older when he fought you? Let me guess. Sugar Shane Mosley, who was damn near out the ring. Like the man was damn near mid semi-retirement. Like nigga was semi-retirement. Like fuck out of here, man. You're going off a namesake, not actual physical boxing ability, like physical boxing ability at the time. You should have lost the first fight to Triple G. They gave you a draw. You should have lost that shit because Triple G beat the fuck out you. But to sit there and say like, "Oh, my resume is stacked," who on your resume is this game changing fucking person, bro? Miguel Cotto was old as shit when he fought you. Miguel Cotto was old as shit when he fought you. Sugar Shane Mosley was semi-retired when he fucking fought you. The only one I give you is Triple G, and you lost one of shit. Really lost like two of them fights. But let's not forget you ran for most of the fucking time before you even fought the fucking man. You didn't want to fight Triple G for shit. So to sit there and say Terrence Crawford has nobody on his resume, he doesn't have an elite fighter on his resume. That's funny. It's funny to me. It's fucking hilarious, actually. But I'm looking forward to this fight. I think this shit's gonna be pretty interesting. I just stop doing fucking press conferences together. That shit is. I'm not saying not do press conferences. Do your press conferences, but do these sit down interviews for fucking Piers Morgan and shit. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Oh, good God Almighty, that shit was so weird. NFL, NFC predictions. It's the last one in the East, and it's the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Clearly, Philly won the championship last year. Dominated the fuck out the Kansas City Chiefs. Barely had the blitz. Patrick Mahomes got like 6, 7, 8 sacks off. That's great. We joke about this a lot, man. Philly drafted Jihad Campbell from Alabama, which is just like, yeah, let's give them. They already had N'Kobe Dean and Nolan Smith and fucking Zach Brown. Let's give them fucking Jihad Campbell, who's also one of the best fucking linebackers in the draft. Just throw him there too. Like, fuck, fucking Eagles. What do I think of Philly this year? Coming into this year. Now, Kellen Moore is no longer a part of the Eagles offense of staff. He's not the offense coordinator anymore. He's my new New Orleans Saints head coach. Yeah. We should see how that looks. Uh see how that looks. All in all, man, what do I think of Philly? I think Philly is an interesting team. Looking at the NFC East, again, it's predictions. We do not know. But I don't fear the Cowboys for the Eagles this year. I don't fear the Giants for the Eagles this year. The Commanders should be there. They should have a problem on their hands with the Commanders. But even in that sense, I don't think the Commanders have enough to physically stop the Eagles. So if that is the case, what is the Eagles having to contest with? Now, if you're looking at the NFC in a scope of the NFC, the hardest division they're gonna have to worry about is the NFC North. Get the Lions, get the Vikings, Packers, Bears. But outside of that, the NFC South, not really. I mean, I think two teams come out the NFC South. That's just me. I think two teams come out the NFC South. I think two teams come out the NFC North. And I think two teams come out the NFC East. But that's about it. I don't think that the Falcons have to. I think the Falcons are not really a threat to the Eagles just yet. I don't think the Bucks are really a threat to the Eagles. Maybe the Lions, but depending on what the Lions look like with now all of their people gone, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see. I think the Eagles could repeat. I know that sounds completely and utterly fucking crazy to sit there and say because I think people still doubt Jalen Hurts, and that's very stupid to do. I think Jalen Hurts is hearing all of this shit, all of this chatter. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP this year. And Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP this year. I think the Eagles are going to have the best record in the NFC. And I think the Eagles are going to repeat the championship. I don't see an NFC team stopping them. What about the Packers? Make me feel like they're going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. What about the Vikings? Make me feel they're going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. What about the Lions? Make me feel like they're going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. Bucks, Panthers, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. What about those teams make me feel like they're gonna stop the Eagles? None of them do. Even in the NFC West, right? The you talk about the Rams, the 49ers. Rams, 49ers. I don't think the 49ers are gonna be great. I really don't know what the Rams are gonna look like, really. Seattle, the Cardinals I expect to win the division. So yeah, I don't know what happens when this situation, but I think the Eagles got this in the fucking in the fucking bag. And that's how I feel. I continue this the NFL prediction show next week. I take a trip to the South, the AFC South, that is. I will be talking about the team, the team that went number fucking one, and that is the Tennessee Titans. I talk about them next week. Talk about how I felt about them moving forward. Do I think Tennessee has enough to kind of make a stand in the AFC South? Is it finally a year where one of these teams can finally actually make the AFC South a problematic situation for the Texans? We shall see. But that's it. This is I Believe Sports. Peace.